Hi cats! Today I will share with you a few tips about how to make a rhythmical learning using a dotted rhythm truly effective. There is a very simple and widely used way of learning passages using a dotted rhythm. I know that many musicians use that a lot and some musicians don't really like it and rather criticize it, but I believe that if applied correctly, it really does an amazing job. So this method means that if you have a passage that is uncomfortable, you might distort the rhythm in a certain way when learning, namely using a dotted rhythm, in order to improve precision and, what's more important, to get rid of unnecessary tension. If this method is applied incorrectly or carelessly, it will rather harm the quality of your playing. But following a few simple tips that I'm going to share with you, you might turn it into a powerful device that would boost the quality of your passages immediately. I use this method myself at times because it helps even when nothing helps. So what does it mean? That if you have some, let's say like that Gibbons prelude that I was recording recently, if you feel uncomfortable at some part of that passage, for example here where you have those weak fingers playing that figuration, you might apply a dotted rhythm in order to learn the passage through, like. But there are a few tips you have to take care of. So tip number one, obviously apply both versions of dotted rhythm. So if you play it like long plus short note, obviously learn it also in an opposite way, so using short-long note relation. Train a precise, short and fast hit with your fingers, and then an immediate finger release. So your finger release, the speed with which you release the finger, release the muscle, should be as fast as the hit itself. So as you see, it's a very short, very precise movement with the finger, and then an immediate release. The purpose of this method is to learn how to play the passage not just precisely and fast with an excellent articulation, but also effortlessly. Learning via an immediate release, when you release all fingers that are done immediately, helps to get rid of tension, even in those parts of the passage where you even didn't notice it. Tip number three, make sure that your dotted rhythm is very precise. Don't allow yourself a loose playing, so extract and repeat the section that feels uncomfortable or sounds not precise enough as many times as necessary, until you would hear a very precise rhythm. And then in the opposite way. So there are two criteria that are equally important. An oral feedback, when you always ask yourself, did it sound good? Did it sound precise enough? And physiological comfort, when you ask yourself, did I feel myself comfortably? Did I have any tension or not? For example, in the Chopin's Prelude number 16 that I'm working right now on, this spot was very uncomfortable for me. Learning it through this method helped me to understand that the main issue was exactly in this spot, where I didn't release the fourth finger on the black key fast enough. And that slowed me down a lot. So the beauty of this method is that when you learn like that, you have enough time between those groups of notes, between those pairs of notes, to control that you release your fingers really fast. So as you see here, when I practice like that, I really try to control that my fourth finger is being released immediately when I hit the fifth finger and doesn't have any tension in it. So. And oppositely. Also, learning like that might help you to improve an ability to stay closer to the keys. Because if you would play like holding your fingers too high and lifting them too high afterwards. That creates a lot of tension. And so just when you learn like that, try to hit the key like very closely. Try to follow dynamics when you learn like that. Whenever you have a crescendo, for example, if I want to follow the phrasing here, when learning it rhythmically, I try to follow it. Whenever you have a crescendo, make it via increasing the speed with which you move the key, but not through the tension or muscle effort. So in this case, I would start pressing those notes in a quite delicate way, pushing the keys slower toward the bottom. But then I would apply a bit more weight of the hand, kind of leaning toward those notes a little bit more and hitting the keys just a bit faster. So slower hit, and a faster one already creates a lot of crescendo. For example, also in the same prelude. In order to make those small crescendi, I don't need to apply more strength. What I need to do is to train my fingers to hit notes faster when I want a crescendo. Usually this method works immediately. If you'd learn through a passage like that, you would immediately be able to play it in a much more precise and articulated and fluent way. The reason is that you're not just building the reflexes, you're also getting rid of any tension between notes and optimizing all movements. There's a small addition to this video, enlightening a couple of other aspects of this learning method that is available to patrons only. So if you'd like to know a couple of other tricks and strategies, consider becoming a patron.